Well, hello, fellow people. So here's another one about the reality of today's women. I don't know why the world or America keeps denying it, but we've trained them to be quite literally trash, and I'm going to prove it to you. By the way, my reason for being anti-women as a woman is because I've been watching y'all's asses, and the 70s was very revealing. And I know I wasn't the only person alive in that decade, so faking the funk ain't gonna work with me. But you see what this title says. Came out in the spring of 2018. Lock her up. Lock her ass up. She's going to jail. She's going to jail. I love that little clip. But how women became the fastest growing population in the American carceral state, okay? I ain't gonna make you read all of it, but I want to get to this part right here. Since the 70s, law enforcement has imprisoned women at twice the rate of men. Okay? This is what they were saying in the 70s. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all that these heifers are dangerous and we need to start treating them as such. Yes, men are dangerous because they just are they're stronger than women. But don't get it twisted. Women are equally a threat, and in some cases more of a threat. Right here it says, since 1970, the number of women in jail nationwide has increased 14-fold from under 8,000 to nearly 110,000. Again, this was from 2018. We're in 2020. I almost said 2025, but 2026 right now. So the reason I want to point this out again, like I said, to prove to these comments that I see on these cop cams that say, oh, this has always been happening. The difference is we now have cell phones, and so we can now see it. No, it hasn't. This is the result of single mothers raising children. It only got worse. It only got worse. So what I did was pulled up the actual population in 1960, which is 179.3 million total. And this 80.47 million were the number of women in the 1960s, okay? So what I did was try to figure out the percentage of that, of women incarcerated, and I just put in the round number of 8,000. It's less than, but I just rounded it up. And that came out to be 9.94%, not even 10% out of that 80 million women, okay? So women have not been acting like this, like we see right now in droves at all. What they did show in this report was women were going to jail for DUI. Shoplifting was the biggest crime. There were some incidences of property damage because apparently there's still been a lot of women that when they get broken up with, they gotta tear up the guy's stuff. That is so not natural, but I guess it is with a lot of these broads today. But and DUIs. There were a lot of drunk drivers for the most part that were sitting in jail. That 9.4%, it was a lot of shoplifters, a lot of drunk drivers, and some drug use. But that was pretty much it. Now, these heifers are killing old folks. 15-year-olds are carjacking grown men and killing them with a gun. Like aggravated murder and all that kind of stuff. 15-year-old girls. So, in another part I want to bring to your attention is the court system. I can't stand that they automatically think a woman has to be the one who is the primary parent. I'm not divorced, so I get tongue-tied when I talk about it because I'm not divorced. But look at this. Infanticide has increased. Okay, I think the infanticide is what men do to their children, killing their children. And there's another word for it that's similar, but it's the feminine word for infanticide, but it means for women. But look at this. The number of child abuse victims in the United States in 2023, the perpetrator by relationship. The mother! So our court system is automatically giving children to the worst abusers out of the two. the father, I'm actually kind of shocked to see it busting 100,000 even, but when I see the reason for that is I see that stat that says that a single father has a better the equal outcome to married parents if they're raising their child alone versus what happens when single mothers do it. 70% of boys and girls end up incarcerated, on drugs, homeless, dropout, teen pregnancy, prostitution, you name it. Suicide is another one. Single mothers produce a lot of suicidal children. Let's start looking at that. Okay? If y'all don't believe me when I tell you that these girls have gotten out of control, because I don't know, for some reason, they think they're oppressed and they think that they got to come out like fucking bulldogs in any situation. They're always in fight mode. You know? Here's your proof. They have become equally dangerous. And I say, for every cop out there that gets a chick for a simple stop on the road for a traffic infraction and she comes out swinging, swing the fuck back. I've seen them kick a fucking cop's teeth right out of his mouth. I saw another lady get a leg broke. It's not funny, but I know she was shocked. And use your taser. Don't keep treating them like the delicate flowers that they claim to be, because they're not. They're savages. And they have no fear anymore. The reason why is because most men don't hit them back. They wail on them all day long, but they don't hit them back. They need to be hit the fuck back. They need to be body slammed. They need to be tasered. They need to be pepper sprayed. Cops should not have to do all the stuff that they do to put a motherfucking chick in handcuffs. All of this sloppy behavior that I'm seeing from these bras today did not exist. Not to this scale, 9.4%. That means we had a whole slew of ladies who behaved like ladies. Now we got these tramp stamp sluts who are fucking wailing on any and everybody. Even seniors aren't safe. They're beating up on 65, 70-year-old, their own mothers in some cases. Women cannot do it by themselves. They are destroying society. Please look at the clip from Mr. Lee that you'll see at the bottom or at the top of this end of this recommended video clip that I'm trying to say. I've got that all twisted. I just want y'all to see that. Because when you see the many little history lessons you need to learn about women when they become wayward, when they have free license to do whatever the fuck they want. You know, you remember this chick, Eve, she had free license. And look at us now. Anyway, I forgot to warn y'all I might be yelling. But anyway, that's enough of my proof. Again, why I feel the way that I do about women. I've been watching y'all for a long time. And stop telling each other that there is a sisterhood. There is not. One more thing before I get out of here about the cops. The psychology that they're using to have women on cop calls and stuff like that because there's a woman involved because they think she'll be able to diffuse it. No, she won't. She's going to get the worst of it. She's going to be called every name of the sun, under the sun, and she's going to get her hair pulled out. She's going to get punched. She's going to get kicked. She's going to get all kind of resistance. And that reminds me, I am going to do an upload about why women should never be cops on the street. Meter maid, dispatchers, and desk pushing jobs. That's all they need to be. They put the whole fucking area in jeopardy when they're on the streets. All right, I'll see you next time.